Morning, how you doing? Thank you all for watching the interview with Bob Langworthy, the accountant who brought up some great stuff about sort of office hacking, right? To sort of piggyback on house hacking that we hear a lot about today, as well as owner financing. A lot of questions have come in about owner financing already, so I reached back out to Bob, and we're likely going to do some follow-on videos together around how to position, sort of why is it good for a seller, why is it good for a buyer. But before we do that, because that'll take some time to put together, I thought I would sort of try to take a stab at answering some of the questions. Uh, First set of questions was around how do you find them, right? Because most sellers aren't out there raising their hands. And just like everything in real estate, I keep telling you, and we'll just sort of keep repeating it, that real estate investing is a people business. You got to go out and network. I would be very clear with anybody in your network that's in your market that you're looking for owner finance deals. For most of you, that means being very clear with real estate agents, indicating to them that that's your preferred purchase. You can look in Realtor.com or Redfin or whatnot for indications that perhaps they're open to it. Sometimes that's in the description, although not very often, but you can look. The other thing you could do is reach out to wholesalers and let them know that you're looking for that. Most wholesalers find, cash deals, but I've had a few bring me deals where the owners wanted to finance, and it's worked out again well for both of us. They get their assignment fee, I get a note, or I get a house or a fourplex, or whatever, for a little bit down and structured payments. So it's really good. So that's how to go look for them. Now, kind of set of questions is why is owner financing good for the seller? Again, it really goes back to you got to find the sellers that are in a unique situation. Typically, they've owned the building for decades. And why is that important? It's because they've taken the depreciation, right, that phantom, tax deduction that as landlords we all get, and depreciated the building. However, the IRS wants that back. Right? So if the owner sold, right, and sold for cash or a loan and a down payment, that asset that they had, let's say, was 500, they depreciated it to 200. Their cost basis, or what they've invested, is now 200. So if they sell it for 800, you don't go back and take your 500 purchase and then go, oh, I bought it for 5, I sold it for 8, so my profit's 3. No. In the landlord game, you've depreciated it to, I forgot what I said, 200, and then you sold it for 800, so your profit is 600, right? So a lot of people have owned property for that long. They get told by their tax man or accountant that, hey, you're going to have a huge tax hit. You do that all in 1 year, and you're going to be in 20% tax for sure, and capital gains, and people get scared, and they don't want to write that big check. Sometimes it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. So instead, what you need to get good at is having that discussion with the seller about, what, why don't we structure an owner carry or owner finance deal? I'll give you a little bit of money now, and then I'll give you payments once a month for, I don't know, pick a term, 10, 20, 30 years. And then why is that good? Why is that good for the sellers? Because now they're taking profit in smaller pieces, right? So let's say it's $1,000 a month. So they get 12,000 in income, and we're gonna remove all the other interest and all those other things. We'll just do simple math. So now, instead of reporting, in my earlier example, 600K in profit, maybe they're reporting 12 grand in profit. And then of course, our tax is progressive. So the higher your income, the higher your taxes. And I believe 12,000 would be considered on the low end of our progressive tax system. So you would have the lowest rate. And for many of you, you might be of a point where that's, if that's all your income, you're not paying any taxes. So you go from an environment of paying one huge tax bill when you sell to keeping your income below. So that's why, right? That's why it's good for the seller. Also, you got to remember these folks were landlords for a reason, right? They wanted, just like you, they want passive income. They wanted income every month, and they've been living on that income for every month. But now maybe they've gotten to an age where they want to do something else. They want to travel, go see their grandkids, whatever it is, right? Good for them. But they don't want the headaches of managing people anymore, right? Being a landlord is tough. You just never know what happens, right? So What they want to do is maybe, you know, collect a little less money every month via a mortgage payment or a loan, and but have a lot more dependable income, right? Because that payment's always made, regardless of the building's vacant or full or whatever. So again, it's owner finance deals for owners who've owned them for years and depreciated the asset to near zero or zero. I'm a firm believer that many of them, if they are educated and you have that discussion, will choose to go that route. And then again, I'll just touch on it real quick. Why is it good for the buyer? It's because you can get creative. I've yet to do an owner finance deal with zero down, but I'm sure it's possible. I've done as little as $5,000, as I mentioned on Bob's interview. I've done interest rates back when interest rates were really low at 2%. You know, for me, it's all about payment. I don't really care what the price is, although in California, property tax is based on price or sold price. So there is some to care about, but in theory, I would pay twice the value of a property if my payments are low enough and I can hold it forever. It just wouldn't bother me in theory, right? So again, I think owner finance deal is something to get good at. You should have that conversation. You should be able to educate them at least on some level. And again, Bob and I are gonna create a couple of videos on why is this good for the seller. Try to give you some real examples and why is it good for the buyer, probably over the next couple of weeks. But you know, let me know if that answered your questions. If not, leave more questions below. Again, this is the subscriber question series. It's all based on your guys' input. So leave a comment or question below. Please subscribe and have a great day.